It was just another day in England when firefighters were called to a blazing house. The fire had torn through everything: furniture, walls, family memories, reduced to ashes. But as they sifted through the wreckage, one object stood eerily untouched: a painting of a young boy with tears rolling down his face. The firefighters had seen this before, too many times. A series of house fires, a painting left intact, a strange connection between disaster and art. We also reveal whether our previous story, paranormal sightings in the world's most haunted nuclear zone, is true or not at the end of this video, so stay tuned. The Crying Boy painting is not just a piece of art. It is an enigma, a legend, a supposed curse that has haunted homeowners for decades. Is it a coincidence? Is it an urban myth fueled by hysteria? Or is there something sinister about this painting that defies explanation? This is the full story of the Crying Boy curse, an investigation into one of the most mysterious supernatural tales in modern history. Giovanni Bragolin, the artist behind the painting, was an Italian painter. His real name was Bruno Amadio. Born in Venice, he was an academically trained artist, but he became famous for something unexpected: a series of paintings depicting sad, weeping children. He painted them with extraordinary realism. Their sorrowful expressions, wet, glossy eyes, the delicate reflection of light on their tears. These paintings were meant to evoke sympathy, but they became something much darker. In the 1950s and 60s, prints of these paintings were mass-produced and sold across Europe, particularly in the UK. They hung in thousands of homes, restaurants, and public spaces. But what people didn't know was that these paintings would later be linked to devastation, death, and fire. The first widely reported case of the curse appeared in 1985. British tabloid newspaper The Sun published an article with the sensational headline, "Blazing Curse of the Crying Boy." The story claimed that a family's home in South Yorkshire had burned down. The cause of the fire was a frying pan that had overheated. Everything inside the house was destroyed. But one thing remained untouched: a copy of the Crying Boy painting. The firefighters who responded to the scene mentioned that they had seen this before, several times. Homes burnt to the ground, but this particular painting always seemed to survive. And then more stories poured in. A woman in Surrey lost her house in a fire just 6 months after buying the painting. 2 sisters in Kilburn had fires break out in their homes after purchasing copies of the artwork. A man in Nottingham lost everything when his house went up in flames. But the Crying Boy painting was found completely undamaged. The fear spread. People who owned the painting panicked. Was this just a coincidence? Or was something truly evil attached to these paintings? Some claimed that the boy in the painting was an orphan who had died in a fire, and his tormented spirit haunted every copy of the artwork. Others believed the painter himself had made a deal with the devil, cursing the paintings to bring suffering to those who owned them. As the rumors escalated, The Sun played into the hysteria, launching a campaign asking people to send in their copies of the painting so they could be burned in mass bonfires. Thousands of people participated, hoping to rid themselves of the curse. But even then, some refused to destroy their paintings, believing that angering the spirit within would only make things worse. Many skeptics began investigating the curse. Was there any scientific explanation for why these paintings remained unscathed? One theory was that the paintings were printed on a type of hardboard covered in a fire-resistant varnish, making them less flammable. Another theory was that when a fire broke out, the string holding the painting to the wall would burn away first, causing the painting to fall face down and thus be shielded from the flames. Steve Punt, a British writer and broadcaster, investigated the phenomenon in his BBC Radio 4 show Punt PI. He conducted an experiment by setting fire to a Crying Boy painting. It burned, just like any other object. There was no supernatural resistance, no eerie survival. But this did not stop the legend from growing. For believers, no amount of scientific reasoning could explain why so many fires happened in homes that contained the painting. The sheer volume of cases, the fear in people's eyes, the eerie consistency of the reports, something about the crying boy painting was undeniably disturbing. And then, a new story emerged. Some people who had once feared the painting claimed that their luck had improved after destroying it. They reported strange occurrences before they got rid of it: electrical disturbances, objects moving on their own, nightmares. But once the painting was gone, peace returned to their homes. Could it be that these paintings were, in fact, cursed? Or was it just a self-fulfilling prophecy fueled by fear and paranoia? While the crying boy curse is often dismissed as superstition, the psychological impact is undeniable. Once people believe something is cursed, they begin to notice coincidences and assign meaning to them. The human brain is wired to recognize patterns, even when none exist. This is known as apophenia, a tendency to perceive connections between unrelated events. To this day, the legend of the crying boy painting persists. Some refuse to have the painting in their homes, while others collect them, embracing the mystery. Paranormal investigators continue to explore the claims. Psychologists analyze the mass hysteria it caused. And somewhere, in a quiet antique store or a dusty attic, a crying boy painting waits. The curse of the crying boy is not just about fires. It is about fear, belief, and the strange ways in which folklore can spread. It is a reminder that some mysteries may never be fully explained. Whether real or imagined, the crying boy remains one of the most chilling legends of modern times. So, what do you think about this story is true or not? Let me know in the comments, and we will reveal if this is true or not in our next video. And now let's address our previous story of paranormal sightings in the world's most haunted nuclear zone, which was true due to the convergence of historical tragedy, scientific anomalies, and first-hand accounts. The nuclear disaster that devastated the area left behind not only physical destruction, but also a profound psychological and emotional scar on those who experienced it. Survivors, first responders, and researchers have consistently reported eerie phenomena that defy conventional explanation. These include ghostly apparitions, unexplained equipment malfunctions, and disembodied voices. Events that align with the trauma and residual energy of such a catastrophic event. The accounts of glowing humanoid figures, shadowy watchers, and spectral children are not merely fabrications, but are supported by multiple witnesses, including soldiers, scientists, and paranormal investigators. The recurring theme of time fractures and echoes of the past replaying aligns with theories about how extreme trauma and radiation might affect the environment, creating a space where the boundary between past and present blurs. Additionally, the behavior of animals in the zone, such as dogs barking at empty spaces, suggests that even they sense something beyond human perception. While skeptics may attribute these phenomena to radiation-induced hallucinations or psychological stress, the consistency and specificity of the reports lend credibility to the idea that the zone is a place where the past lingers, and the spirits of those who perished remain trapped. The combination of historical context, scientific curiosity, and the sheer volume of first-hand testimonies makes paranormal sightings in the world's most haunted nuclear zone a compelling and believable exploration of the unknown. It serves as a haunting reminder that some tragedies leave behind more than just physical scars. They create a legacy that lingers in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. If you enjoy our stories, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.